One day I'm gonna be everything I wanna be. I don't let it get the most of me. One day I'm gonna be free. I wanna be everything I'm gonna be. My future right in front of me. One day I'm gonna be free. I wanna be free. Then let me be free.
From the depths of darkness, a voice emerges. A host with a fire burning in his soul. With a heart, steel, and a spirit unbroken. He rides onto his ready to claim his throne. Amidst the chaos and the thunderous roar, insane wheels rise as a force to be reckoned with. Fueled by the power that only metal can bestow. He takes his stand, refusing to submit. Insane wheels hear his battle cry. Metal and mayhem will never die. Rituals report he pays his way. More legend in the making, day by day.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. It is St. Patrick's Day, and great to see everyone in the chat, man. Let's get it. St. Patty's Day, man. Feels ultra good to be a G. Ladies and gentlemen, we are looking at Iran operation update as well as Trump bilateral meeting, which is supposed to be happening today. I'm not sure if we're going to be able to capture that exact meeting this morning because I don't think it's even started yet. But at least you guys know it's happening. Then we have Vance remarks as well as St. Patrick's Day and top stories. Yes, so let me go ahead and give you guys a chronological breakdown of what we're looking at. It is a big morning for us. Trump's White House Chief of Staff, Susie Wiles, diagnosed with breast cancer. That's fucking terrible. That happened yesterday, by the way. We have President Trump holds a news conference amid the Iran conflict that happened yesterday as well. And then during that speech, Trump reveals non-public terminal diagnosis of House member. I'm not really sure what non-public terminal diagnosis means. We're going to find that out together. Vance asked about past statements on war in Iran, and I watched that happen on social media actually last night. And I'm like, wow, they're really trying to get Vance crossed up and like turning him against Trump. It's very interesting watching the media work. And then we have Trump launches Vance-led anti-fraud task force. Yes, during that whole thing, Trump announced that there's going to be a task force going against fraud. So it's going to be very interesting. Trump has put Vance as like the chairman of this anti-fraud task force. So it's going to be, we're going to get some more information on it because we have Trump talking about it. Watch Q&A with Trump on Iran war, fraud, and more. We have that for you guys lined up. Then we have Trump on Israel. Israel won't use nuclear weapon in Iran. Not sure how he could actually say that. I don't know if he thinks he controls Bibi Netanyahu or what the hell is going on there. We're going to find out for context here in a bit. Then we also, I don't know if you guys know about this Crockett ordeal. So there's some footage that just came out. Body cam footage of Crockett bodyguard shooting. Now, I believe the bodyguard of Jasmine Crockett was like in a shootout with cops. I guess they came after her or whatever, and he pulled his gun. And they smoked his ass. You know, you don't want to be, just because you're security of some sort doesn't mean that you should be pointing that at cops. Just saying. So there was a whole police standoff. But we have that footage for you guys, actually. And then we have Cuba experiencing island-wide blackout amid emergency energy crisis. And that did happen last night. I forget exactly what time. It was kind of like later afternoon, evening time was when I started seeing that Cuba was out. We're talking millions of people without any type of electricity. Then we have, just as of 3 hours ago, coming out from Israel, top Iranian officials killed in Israeli strikes. We got they apparently got some guy that's like head of some sort of security. He's like the head guy or whatever. We're going to find that out together. And then we have Israel-Iran conflict, new wave of strikes on Tehran, which is over there in Iran, obviously. And that just came out 2 hours ago. So we're looking pretty good this morning. All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's go ahead and do our call to actions real quick, and we'll get right into the craziness of this morning. Make sure you guys hit that like button. Helps out the show immensely, and it's free to do so. Excuse me. And double tap that screen if you guys are on the vertical side. It definitely helps out the show, and it's free. Hit that subscribe button, by the way. This is what we do Monday through Friday, and then, of course, Saturday morning for members only. It's a great time, man. And speaking of becoming a member or memberships, consider becoming a member, starting only at $3.99 a month. We're not making sure we're not breaking the bank out there with anybody, but check it out. This is what allows us to be on these airwaves as well as have these lights on. So thank you guys for becoming members and staying members. Little side note here, follow my Instagram at BallValveTV, where I post everything behind the scenes of not only my life, but as well as the show, Millennial Food Time, breaking news, the campaign trail. It's a great way to get a hold of me one-on-one as well, man. We have a Discord server for all of you legends, by the way. Go into the video description down below of any live video that we're doing, and it'll have the invite link for all of you guys. That's where we continue the conversation after the show, by the way. And last but not least, all super chats, super stickers, gifted memberships, and membership signups are, of course, all going to be presented live and shouted out onto the show. But if you guys would like to skip that YouTube 30% brutal cut that they take from your hard-earned cash, by the way, we have these platforms that are scrolling around the screen, and you guys can donate, and I get 100% of the proceeds, and I'll read out whatever you guys send my way, just like I would a super chat. I've got my email up on my phone, and I'm actively scanning, so I very much appreciate you guys. Great to see everyone in the chat, by the way. We got Virginia Chaos. It's already starting this off thick. Virginia Chaos dropping out a gifted membership, man. Thank you very much, kind sir. Helps me and someone else in the IWF, my man, so I very much appreciate it. All right, we already got a freak ton of you guys in here. We have 130 people in here already. Make sure you guys hit that like button. Appreciate you guys. We got Pops in the building as well as Naomi. Great to see you guys. We got Jimmy Mack as well as Prez and Rabbit of Chaos. Good morning. We got Warlearner as well as Sick Bastard. Yes, sir. Great to see you, by the way. And big shout out, by the way, to the coffee crew over there from Motobomb, Virginia, and Carney's Ride. Of Carney Vanguard. I very much appreciate you guys for rating us this morning, man. I'm very honored by that. Thank you guys for the support. We got Tolga in the building as well as Tiffany. Good morning to you. We got Charlie as well as Crystal Kitten. Good morning to you guys. We got Tiffany as well. We're rolling our way down. We got Jeff. What's up, Jeff? We got Bob up there in Canada on the Facebook side of things. Great to see you this morning. Virginia Chaos. Yes, sir. Much love, honor, and respect to you, kind sir. We got Dark Soul in the building as well. Good morning. We got Danny. My man, Danny, great to see you. We got Click as well as DJ. Good morning to you guys. All right, let's go ahead and get right into all this craziness. We have a lot to get through this morning, and we're going to start this off with Trump's White House Chief of Staff, Susie Wiles, diagnosed with breast cancer.
We have learned that Susie Wiles, the president's chief of staff, has breast cancer. President Trump revealing the diagnosis on his Truth Social account, saying this: Susie Wiles is an incredible chief of staff, a great person, and one of the strongest people I know. But unfortunately, she has been diagnosed with early-stage breast cancer.
Shit, real quick, we got my brother Lee Lance coming in on hot on the Cash App, by the way. It says Half Cock Tuesday OG. Yes, sir, with the 250. I very much appreciate that kind of thing. Making it rain in the Cash App, my man. Thank you, sir. Dues are paid.
And has decided to take on this challenge immediately, as opposed to waiting. She has a fantastic medical team, and her prognosis is excellent. During the treatment period, she will be spending virtually full time at the White House, which makes me, the president, as president, very happy. Her strength and her commitment to continue doing the job she loves and does very well while undergoing treatment tells you everything you need to know about her. Susie, as one of my closest and most important advisors, is tough and deeply committed to serving the American people. She will soon be better than ever. Melania and I are with her in every way, and we look forward to working with Susie on the many big and wonderful things that are happening on the behalf of the country. President Donald J. Trump.
Man, that's terrible news. Anybody getting any type of cancer is terrible. Breast cancer is ruthless as well. So at least you guys know that this is happening here. We're going to go ahead and move on here. We got President Trump holds news conference amid Iran conflict. This happened yesterday, for context, by the way. No problem. We've got it here. Let's go ahead and bring this up. We're not going to play this whole thing either, by the way, because this is a long, long ordeal, you know?
It's always present, unfortunately. I'll say a few words about what's happening in the Middle East. And if you have a couple of questions, we'll do that, and then we'll get on with our board meeting. So thank you very much for being here. We have a wonderful group of very, very smart, talented.
What's up, brother Steve Easy? Good morning to you, and happy St. Patrick's Day to you and everybody in the chat, man.
Patriots at this table. Our powerful military campaign to end the threats posed by the Iranian regime continued in full force over the past few days. They have been literally obliterated. The Air Force is gone. The Navy is gone. Many, many ships have been sunk. They're warfighting ships, but I guess they didn't know how to use them. And anti-aircraft is decimated. Their radar is gone, and their leaders are gone. Other than that, they're doing quite well. They've been a terror for 47 years. And now, I guess, the world, through the United States, with the help of Israel, is doing what should have been done many years ago. Should have been done many years ago. Since the beginning of the conflict, we've struck more than 7,000 targets across Iran, and these have been mostly commercial and military targets. We've achieved a 90% reduction in their ballistic missile launches. And
What was the percentage on that, real quick?
we've achieved a 90% reduction
90% reduction of ballistic missiles. We got Miss Lotus in the building. Shout out to you.
in
Good
their
morning.
ballistic missile launches and a 95% reduction in drone attacks. The missiles are trickling in now at very low levels because they don't have too many missiles left. We've also attacked the manufacturing plants, where the places where they manufacture the missiles and the drones, and that's going on today. We just hit 3 of them today, and it's getting very hard for them to manufacture. More than 100 Iranian naval vessels have been sunk or destroyed over the last
100 now. That's the total number. I remember when it was 20, then 51, and now we're over 100.
week and a half. That has to be some kind of a record. Additional strikes continue to launch from all directions every single hour. As you know, we attacked Targ Island and knocked it literally, destroyed everything on the island except for the area where the
oil.
is.
Right.
I call it the pipes. So we left.
So he essentially left the pipes alone, right? With his words, left the pipes alone, but we definitely took out all the military assets on that island. Which you got to remember, 90% of basically all of Iranian oil is processed there, yeah, definitely interesting.
Pipes. We didn't want to do that, but we will do that. We can do that on 5 minutes' notice. It'll be over. But for purposes of someday rebuilding that country, I guess we did the right thing. But it may not stay that way. Just one simple word, and the pipes will be gone too. But it'll take a long time to rebuild
What's up, Big Dan? Good morning.
that. We are aggressively dismantling Iran's defense industrial base, and ability to rebuild its missiles and drone capability is getting down to close to zero. And we're hammering their capacity to threaten commercial shipping in the Strait of Hormuz with more than 30 mine
What's up, Charles, over there from down under, down there in Australia? Good to see you, by the way.
laying ships
Good morning.
destroyed. We hit, to the best of our knowledge, all of their mine-laying ships. Now they can put them on other types of ships, I guess, and drop them in. But we don't know that any have even been dropped in. We're not sure that any have been. That's a big negative for them if they do it. It's a form of suicide. But we don't know that they have dropped any in. But we've hit all 30 of their ships and destroyed them. They're all at the bottom of the sea. We strongly encourage other nations whose economies depend on the Strait far more than ours. You know, we get less than 1% of our oil from the Strait, and some countries get much more. Japan gets 95%. China gets 90%. Many of the Europeans get quite a bit. South Korea gets 35%. So we want them to come and help us with the Strait. We have it in very good shape. The countries, I said, we've already taken care of Iran, but now, because of the fact that literally a single terrorist can put something in the water or shoot something or shoot a missile, a small missile.
What's up, Joseph, up there in Canada? Our favorite snow Mexican, by the way. Great to see you in the chat, bro. Happy St. Patrick's Day.
And it's fairly close range because it is a tight area, and which is one of the reasons they've always used that as a weapon. Iran has always used that as an economic weapon, and it's not going to be able to be used very long. Numerous countries have told me they're on the way. Some are very enthusiastic about it, and some aren't. Some are countries that we've helped for many, many years. We've protected them from horrible outside sources, and they weren't that enthusiastic. And the level of enthusiasm
Ride safe over there, Motobomb. Great to see you in the chat. Bro.
it matters to me. We have some countries where we have 45,000 soldiers, great soldiers, protecting them from harm's way. And we have done a great job. And when we want to know, do you have any minesweepers? Well, would rather not get involved, sir. I said, for 40 years we're protecting you, and you don't want to get involved in something that is very minor. Very few shots going to be taken because they don't have many shots left. But they said, we'd rather not get involved. I just want the fake news media and everybody else to remember that that was said, because I've been a big critic of all of the protecting of countries, because I know that we'll protect them. And if we ever needed help, they won't be there for us. I've just known that for a long period of time, just like I knew about the Strait, that it would be a weapon, which I predicted a long time ago. Predicted all of this stuff. You guys were very generous in that. I predicted all of it. I predicted Osama bin Laden would knock out the World Trade Center. I made that prediction a year before he did. I said, you better get him. He's a bad guy. I watched him be interviewed one time, and I said, that's a bad guy. You better get him. 1 year before, exactly. I wrote it in a book. You can even check. About a year before the World Trade Center then came down, President Clinton actually had a shot at him, and he didn't take it. Unfortunately, I'm not blaming him for that, but he didn't take it. And he ended up knocking down the World Trade Center, but I predicted that. I predicted a lot of things. We strongly encourage other nations whose economies depend on the Strait for blood. I mean, these people literally need it. 95% of their energy or their oil comes out of the Strait, and they should be in here very happily helping us.
Wow, Jimmy, that's pretty fucking awesome, actually.
And it's incredible. We have such we're number one in oil by double now. We drill, baby, drill. We're double any other nation, and it's going to be soon triple any other nation. And that doesn't include Venezuela, who's been great. By the way, the relationship with Venezuela has been fantastic.
Shit. You mean since taking out Maduro?
Millions, literally millions of barrels of oil
Right.
Are being taken out, and it's been a great help, and it's been to their great benefit. The president has done a really good job.
It'd be really nice if we could use their oil and process their shit here and refine it. That'd be fucking nice, so that oil prices can actually come down. It'd be nice. Instead, we're selling it, and the United States is making a profit, but the people are not getting any type of benefit from it yet.
Along with them, really
That needs to happen.
But we've taken out millions of barrels of oil and brought to Houston and other places to the refineries. We have refineries set up specifically for that.
I like that,
and
Charles.
It's been a great relationship, and more and more is happening. It's a tremendous oil source, and we're stepping it up very rapidly. The big companies are going in, and they will actually numbers in a pretty short period of time. Numbers that they've never been able to do, we'll be doing. There's a lot of oil under that land. We strongly encourage the other nations.
Man, brother Lee Lance coming in with the $1.99. I very much appreciate the $2, making it rain real quick in the chat, my man. Thank you very much for that. Let's freaking go.
To get involved with us and get involved quickly and with great enthusiasm. I have that from a number of them, and I'd like to say their names, but frankly, I don't know if they would want me to or not, because maybe they don't want to be targeted. But I say, wouldn't matter if you're targeted or not, because this is a paper tiger that we're dealing with now. It wasn't a paper tiger 2 weeks ago. It's a paper tiger now. So now we're going to get down to the reason. We'll take a couple of questions in a moment, but we're going to get down to the reason we're here today. Actually, this was set up a long time ago. It's the Trump Kennedy Center. Over the past year, we've made incredible strides to restore the true purpose and prestige of this revered institution. Together, we're going to ensure it remains the finest performing arts facility of its kind anywhere in the world. And I don't know that it ever really reached that stage, but it will over a period of time. We're rebuilding it. It's in very, very bad condition. It's been it's been somewhat of a disaster, to be honest with you.
Shit.
Oh shit! Oh,
It's been let go to hell. That's what they've done. They did a
What's up, my man Frank? Good morning, and happy St. Patrick's Day to you and everyone here, man. Good morning.
poor job. They spent money in the wrong places. They built some theaters underneath that nobody uses, little ones, tiny theaters that cost like $300 million. And the money was spent incorrectly and wrong. We're dealing with some networks on the possibility of renting those little theaters. Nobody's going to use them. They want the big halls. The halls are going to be incredible. They're in bad shape, but when they're completed, the bones are potentially something that could be unbelievable.
Man, Big Al coming in hot, by the way, gifting out a membership, not only helping me, but helping someone in the Insane Wheels family, my man. So very much appreciate that.
So I want to, before we begin, I want to thank Rick Grinnell. He's been a friend of mine for a long time. He's been unbelievable. He was the ambassador, as you know, to Germany. There was no happier woman in the world than Angela Merkel. Angela. She called me, thank you, sir, thank you. Although she liked Rick a lot, there was nobody happier that he was no longer going to be the ambassador to Germany. He was difficult for them. He was not your typical ambassador. He was the opposite. He would do what was best for the United States, not for Germany. And I want to tell you, he did a great job. So good that I put him in charge of a thing called intelligence. And something he didn't really want to do, but he did it, and he did it incredibly well. There were a lot of leakers. He found out the leakers. And when he didn't find out who the leaker was in a certain area, he fired everybody. And he went into one room where there was leaks coming out. These are long-term problems that these various places have had. And he said, who's the one that leaked this? And they wouldn't admit it, so he fired the whole room.
Liquored up with Poncho, my man. Good morning. Happy Topless Taco Tuesday and St. Patrick's Day at the same time.
And he did a good job. I'll tell you, he was very good. And during this transition period, I asked Rick if he would run it, because we wanted to see. And if you remember when we first took it over, I didn't do it with enthusiasm. I did it because somebody had to do it. I had to turn it around because it was failing. It would have closed, and physically it would have almost fallen down. It was in very bad shape. The steel columns outside, as an example, were meant to be covered. You know, exposed steel is unusual to have in building. What I do best in life is build. I build buildings really well and under budget and ahead of schedule. That's what I do, unlike the Fed building, which is going to cost billions of dollars. It may never open. I mean, right now, we have a wonderful Kevin, a wonderful new head of the Fed coming in. I don't know if he'll ever be able to occupy this.
No, you said it wrong, by the way. It's a la snack bar.
This complex that was destroyed by Jerome Too Late Powell. I call him Too Late because he's always too late with interest. Should cut interest rates. He should cut them right now. They should have a special meeting. What's a better time to cut interest rates than now? A third grade student would know that. But that's a terrible thing. But what I do is build. I build great stuff. And what we're going to do is, right outside. In fact,
yeah, Miss Lotus, he does go on. He on everything.
A few moments later.
True.
If you look behind me, see the nice gold curtains? If you want to look into a nice
What's up, EOD? Shit. Good morning and happy St. Patrick's Day,
foundation,
man.
And you want to see a lot of work, very deep, very, very deep for specific reasons. We have a magnificent ballroom being built, because this is the biggest room, and it holds like 98 people for dinner. But behind me, you're going to have a ballroom that this building and the people occupying it in particular.
Sterling coming in hot with the re-upping for his 6 months of membership, saying stop the caps. Yes.
Stop the cap.
Caps with you guys in the chat. Yes. By the way, listen, you guys can go ahead and test the mods out or something like that, but you guys see every time you guys do all caps, it just gets deleted. So
every president for 150 years has clamored for a ballroom, a large, beautiful room. This is a cocktail room, and this will actually be, this whole floor will end up being a cocktail room for the cocktail area, or pre-area for the ballroom before dinners. So we'll have heads of state. We can't even do a heads of state dinner. Usually what they do is they would do them on the lawn with a tent.
Holy shit, Sterling just dropped a humongous banger on you guys. Wow, holy shit. Thank you so much, Sterling Whale, coming in with the 10 gifted memberships. Yo, it's fucking humongous. Let's get it. Man, 10 people are totally psyched right now. Well, actually 11, because of me too. Shit. Appreciate you, Sterling.
But when it rains, the lawn is very low. And you know the land in Washington. It was built on swampy, wet land. And when it rains and you have the King of Saudi Arabia, we have, as an example, the King of the UK, I would say King of England, who's a great guy. He's coming in very soon. And when it rains, you know what happened? The rain would go over their feet. It would be about 4 or 5 inches over their shoes. This was not good. And it rained a lot. So we're building, finally, because I do that, And by the way, no taxpayer money. I want to put that zero. It's going to be, it's on time, on budget. It'll be under budget. We're having it under budget, other than we've upgraded it in terms of the marbles we're using. We're using onyx and stone.
Miss Lotus, I got you. Shit.
Bruh. That are incredible. But
we're almost done doing this whole thing. Once he stops this monologue and he hands it off to somebody else, we're moving on.
It'll be something really spectacular. I'm looking at Mr. Steve Wynn, who's over there. He built a spectacular building, and he knows Trump builds a spectacular building. I built better buildings than him. I don't care what he said. But Steve is over
Oh shit! Oh shit!
here, and he really, with his incredible wife, Andrea. And thank you both for being here. Andrea's on the board, and Steve is so in love with his wife, he asked whether or not he could come. And I can say the same thing for the great Bob Kraft. He's got a wife that's so wonderful. He said, "Do you think I could come?" She didn't have to accept that, you know. She could have said no. But Bob said, "I would like to come." So, Bob, we will not let you vote, although his vote would be a good vote.
What's up, TVT? Great to see you in the chat. Happy St. Patrick's Day, my man.
He will vote for the proper thing, but it's good to have you both here. These are two great couples that know a lot about the things I'm talking about, like fixing, whether it's building a stadium or building a building. They know how to do it. So thank you, Steve, very much. But we made incredible strides over the past year. If you remember, I said I want to run it for a year just to see, because the place is falling down. It's horrible. Air conditioning, heating is going to be ripped.
What's up, SST? Great to see you in the chat, by the way.
Out in its entirety, and needs new. It's old. It's how many years is it, Rick? What's the total? 50, almost, over 50. And we have 50-year-old air conditioning, more than that actually, and it's in bad shape. Everything's in bad shape. It's got to be redone. So I said, let's run it for a year just to see how it works. It's better than, you can't just go into something and try and figure it out. And we figured it out over the year. And you have to close it, putting new marbles in, beautiful, beautiful marbles. When you do marbles, you can't have people walking over the marble every night as it's drying and setting and going to a play. So we thought the best way, what I know best in the world is construction. The best way to do it is close it, do it properly, and reopen it, have a grand reopening. And when it's finished, it's going to be far better than it was when it was originally built. When it was originally built, it was good. It has one thing that's very good. It has great sound. I think there's a lot of luck in sound. You have some of the big...
NZ as in New Zealand? Shout out to New Zealand, Russell. Great to see you in the chat, by the way.
Opera houses. I don't want to get involved with saying which one, but in New York, as an example, where the acoustics were never good. And they've ripped it apart 4 times and rebuilt it, and it was never good. The good thing about the Kennedy Center, the acoustics are good. And they'll only be enhanced based on what we're doing. A lot of it has to do with the stones and the...
Sometimes it's cool that Trump goes off script, but then other times it's just like, bro, what the fuck are you just going on about? Like, no one gives a shit about this shit. Get back to what we're, like, tuning in for, you know what I mean?
Stones you use, the marbles you use, etc. Over the past year, we've made incredible strides to restore the true purpose and prestige that this building will soon gain, I think, at a higher level than it had before. Together we're going...
What's up, Shelby? Great to see you in the chat, bro. It's been a minute. And but great to see you here, by the way. Happy St. Patrick's Day.
To ensure it remains the finest and will become the finest performing arts facility anywhere in the world. It's got the location, and it will have the building. It's got good bones. It's got good structure. Again, they wanted to originally cover the exposed steel. It was painted a cheap gold, and we turned it into a very expensively painted white, very heavy.
Exactly, Virginia Chaos.
Coat of very powerful white paint meant for steel, exposed steel. A very different kind of paint, but it's almost like putting a stone over the top of it. And the color is white, shiny white, and it looks, a lot of people have commented, it looks so much better. Before they had the steel painted gold, and the gold was very cheap. There's actually never
the gold was very cheap.
Been a paint that's made that will look like gold. Steve will tell you that. You can't, you either gold...
Okay, I don't give a shit about that. We're moving on. It's giving me emotional damage right now.
Emotional damage!
All right, we do have to listen to Trump one more time here, back to back here. So it is what it is. We got some crazy stuff going on here. Vance asked about past statements on war in Iran. So actually, it's going to be VP Vance, and then we go into questions and answers with Trump. So this is actually going to be Vance first. So let's go ahead and do this up. Here we go.
First, Mr. Vice President, Democrats are already calling you the fraud czar. What's your reaction to that title? And
What's up, Are We Not, man? Good morning.
second,
Happy St. Patrick's Day.
second, given your past skepticism of foreign adventurism, are you completely on board with the current war in Iran?
So I like fraud czar. It's certainly what we're going to do. And look, we have to do it. As the president said, this is a problem that has festered in this country for far too long, and far too few people have actually wanted to do anything about it. That's what makes this administration different, is that we actually tackle the problems the American people have been confronting. So I'm very happy about it. And look, I think that I know what you're trying to do, Phil. You're trying to drive a wedge between members of the administration, between me and the president.
Yep, that's true.
What the president
Good job, Vance, for calling that out.
said consistently, going back to 2015, and I agreed with him, is that Iran should not have a nuclear weapon. We have taken this military action under the president's leadership. I think all of us, whether you're a Democrat or
You know what's funny is I actually looked for it, Naomi, and I can't fucking find it. It's probably in my dresser, but I didn't even look, so.
Republican, should pray for
Not
success
there.
and pray for the safety of our troops. That's the approach that I've taken. Make it as successful as possible.
So there's no hesitation, given your past statements with
Extra
the current
surprise.
operation?
What do you mean there's no hesitation with my past statements?
Given your skepticism of foreign adventurism, you were a critic of the global war on terror previously.
Well, I think one big difference, Phil, is that we have a smart president, whereas in the past we've had dumb presidents. And I trust President Trump to get the job done, to do a good job for the American people, and to make sure that the mistakes of the past aren't repeated. Absolutely.
Thanks, sir.
So JD's been great, but here's the simple thing, and I have, some people, I don't want wars. I want wars less than almost anybody.
Shit. All right, well, before we get into the full questions and answers with Trump, we're going to first do Trump launches Vance-led anti-fraud task force. And during this whole thing, I believe he appointed J.D. Vance to be the chairman, I believe. So we're going to find that out together right now. And this is in regards to all fraud, but in particular, Somali fraud.
Let's quickly shift gears. President Trump at an event with Vice President J.D. Vance, a signing event over potentially fraud. Let's listen into this live.
It's a very big thing that we're doing. It's about fraud, having to do with all the fraud that's taking place in our country. And we have two people that are extremely brilliant and just very talented, and they're going to be put in charge. But I'd like to ask Will, if you would, to give a little description of what we're signing, the executive order, and then I'll ask JD to speak.
Yes, sir. As you stated in your State of the Union address, in light of widespread revelations of fraud in federally funded programs in states like Minnesota and California, this executive order in front of you will establish a new task force aimed at rooting out that fraud, returning potentially billions or tens of billions or even hundreds of billions of dollars to the American taxpayer. This task force will be chaired by the Vice President. The Vice Chairman will be the head of the FTC, Andrew Ferguson, who's with us here as well today. But this is going to launch a whole-of-government approach to rooting out the very serious problem of fraud in federally funded programs around the country.
As an example, you've been seeing it, and seeing it pretty big in Minnesota, $19 billion. But that's only for one little...
By the way, we have over 300 people in here right now between both of the streams. Make sure you guys double tap that screen if you're on the vertical side. Hit that like button if you're on the horizontal. Listen, you guys don't have to like all the craziness that's happening around the world, but you guys can like it for me and what we're doing here. So thank you guys for your laborious work.
Aspect of the fraud. It's $19 billion, and California, as they say, is 10 times worse, and other states are 10. And this is not a Republican-Democrat thing. This is wherever it's taking place. It seems that it's usually in blue states. If it's in a red state, we're going there too. But it seems that it's heavily, heavily, heavily Democrat. And what they've done is so sad. When you look at the Minnesota scam, a lot of it has to do with Somalia. Nobody's calling out anybody, but a lot of it has to do, but it's Somalia and plenty of others. And I believe the governor is complicit. I believe Ilhan Omar is complicit. I believe that your attorney general is complicit. And if they are, you're going to hopefully find out about it, and you're going to have to do what you have to do. If we found half of the fraud that's taking place in this country, and I think you have a chance of doing that, we would have much more than a balanced budget. That's the kind of numbers you're talking about. The theft is incredible. And I think JD will make, and Andrew will make, a charge later on that local states should handle nursing homes and all of these things that the federal government shouldn't be involved in. It's too big. The federal government should handle military and a couple of other things. But when it comes to nursing homes, you saw where a young gentleman was going around and knocking on doors, and none of the nursing homes existed, none of the nurseries existed. the money that's being paid out, and the federal government pays for it. When you see all these people coming in illegally into our country, many criminals, many drug dealers, murders, 11,888 murders, and you look at California, and more come in, and yet they never had money, and yet they pay them. You know why they pay them? Because the federal government is charged with paying. We're not paying them anymore, and I said that. So these two really smart guys are going to be, I think it's going to, hopefully it's going to be JD's. This will not be.
Go get some good rest, Borland.
Like a Kamala, where she was put in charge of the border, and she never went there, JD, right? You promise?
I promise, sir.
Remember, Kamala was put in charge. She was the border czar. She never went to the border. She never called any of the great Border Patrol. The Border Patrol testified. We never spoke to her in 4 years, and that was a disaster. But this is different. This is a different group of people. I think maybe before JD, I'll ask Stephen Miller say a few words too, please.
Thank you, Mr. President. Well, under President Trump's leadership, as we've seen, the illegal flow across the southern border was stopped completely. But what we found since President Trump came into office is that the Democrats have set up a system to funnel hundreds of billions and ultimately trillions of dollars to migrants that are in our country, oftentimes from places like Somalia. So as an example, ICE recently asked a group of illegal immigrants that were in detention whether or not they were receiving Medicaid. Half of them raised their hands and volunteered that they were on Medicaid. Just volunteered that. These aren't the ones who are hiding it, right? They also asked illegal aliens how they paid their medical bills, and they said that if they don't have Medicaid, they go to hospitals, they get free care there, and they bill it to the taxpayers. So they aren't paying for any of their own health care in this country. This is one example. And we've seen this over and over and over again. So under President Trump's leadership, and then of course with JD and the head of the FTC, Andrew Ferguson, we're going to see the first ever effort in American history to reclaim the ultimately trillions of dollars that were stolen from taxpayers. I believe, and I know President Trump believes, that when this stuff is exposed, we will see that if all of it were stopped, it would be enough to balance the budget. The extraction of wealth from American taxpayers to people who don't belong here is the primary cause of the national debt, and this is the first ever effort to shut that down. Thank you, Mr. President.
First ever. And then everyone else have been cheating for years.
Well over 500 people in here. Make sure you guys double tap that screen and hit that like button if you're on the horizontal. Appreciate you guys.
It's the first ever, and it's got to be stopped. I mean, it's got to be stopped. Think of it, Somalia is a third world, maybe a fourth world nation. One of the worst, one of the most dangerous. They don't have anything. They don't have councils. They don't have government. They don't have police. They shoot each other all over the place. They come here, they steal $19 billion. That's crazy. And Ilhan Omar, I hope this is part of it, but she married her brother, supposedly. I mean, there's a lot of documentation. That means she's here illegally and she's a congresswoman. And I hope you're going to be looking at that, or somebody is, all right? Because she's one of the ringleaders here. She's bad news, really bad news. She's so bad for our country. Anyway, JD, please say a few words.
Yes, sir. Well, thank you, Mr. President. This is a very important whole-of-government approach to tackle the fraud problem. And let me just tell one story. One of the things that even before this executive order was signed that we were able to stop under the president's leadership is we saw evidence that in Minneapolis there were Somalis, primarily illegal immigrants, who were defrauding a Medicaid program that was meant to go to autistic children. So they were taking children who were supposed to get benefits, and they were claiming that their kids were actually autistic even though they weren't. And what did this mean? This meant two things. Number one, you had a lot of people getting rich off of the fraud while American citizens got poor. And the second thing that it meant is that you had autistic kids in Minneapolis, in suburban Minneapolis, who weren't getting benefits they needed because Somali fraudsters were literally stealing out of their pocket. It's got to stop. And unfortunately, that kind of fraud is one example of probably hundreds just within the state of Minneapolis, and then it's repeated and replayed all over the United States of America. When we first started talking about this problem, the president made it very clear he wanted us to take the fraud problem seriously because nobody had until he was president. We started to figure out one big hole that existed is that the agencies of the government weren't actually talking to each other. So Treasury would have evidence of financial fraud, but wasn't talking to the Department of Justice about it. Health and Human Services had evidence of Medicaid fraud, but wasn't talking to the Department of Treasury about it. So what this executive order does is force the entire apparatus of the federal government to do two things. Stop the fraud on the American taxpayer and make sure that the benefits that ought by right go to American citizens and not to fraudsters. Andrew Ferguson will be the vice chair and is going to do a great job. If you're curious what's the difference between the vice chair and the vice chair is going to do all the work, and I'm going to take all the credit. Andrew.
Yeah, look, I mean, millions and millions.
Okay, we don't need to hear the rest of this. We got the two that we needed to hear from. We're moving on. All right, one of the last things that we're going to do here regarding Trump this morning, I know there's been a lot of Trump on this whole thing, but there's been a lot of shit going on in the last 24 hours. So we do have to give you guys what is happening here. So Trump took questions at the White House yesterday, and it is in regard of Trump on Iran war, as well as the fraud and more. So let's go ahead and bring that up. First, we need to embrace our fuck-ups. We haven't done that shit yet, and then we got to get the money part over, too.
Don't beat yourself up over past mistakes.
You are going to fuck up again in the future, quite possibly in a most spectacular fashion. Why worry about yesterday's fuck ups when you have tomorrow's fuck ups to look forward to? You are a fuck up, and fucking up is part of your growth process. Embrace the process.
Just embrace thy process.
All right, just get the money part done.
Give me money. Money me. Money now. Me a money needing a lot now.
Very true, by the way, and fact.
Denied.
Still love you guys, though. Let's go ahead and run this up.
Nice questions from our wonderful
Hit the like button, everybody. Speed them up a little bit here.
Okay.
Good one.
Here you go. They're very important. That's a big deal. We've been working on this very long, bro.
Yes,
See,
sir.
right?
Shit, what's up, Stacks, my man? Great to see you in the chat. Hopefully you're enjoying your St. Patrick's Day.
Will?
Yes, sir.
Andrew, do you have a question?
Yes, Mr. President. You said during your State of the Union that this type of fraud, the corruption, is the type of thing that can shred the fabric of a nation. Why do you suppose that the leaders in recent memory haven't looked at the systemic amount of fraud
Because
that's
they're
taking
crooked.
place? And
Because they're crooked. They make money. They gain power. They use it for power. Like with the Somalians, they vote in a block, 100%. They make a deal with the Somalians. They all vote because they're on a gravy train. It's money first, power second. A lot of people say power first now. It's money first, power second. Do you ever see where like Mercedes, people come over from Somalia, they have no money, and now they're buying Mercedes-Benz cars, okay? It's more cash goes out of the Minnesota airport than any other place in the world.
Oh, shit.
We're going to find it. And Minnesota's really bad. The governor's corrupt. The attorney general is totally corrupt. Just like the New York State attorney general, Letitia James. She's a highly corrupt person. Bragg, the DA, is a corrupt person. They're all corrupt. These are corrupt people. And we got too many of them in our country. And we have to expose them. And we have to...
What's up, Ghost? Great to see you in the chat, bro.
Catch them. And if these two guys can't, these are high IQ people. I've always liked high IQ. These are high IQ people. If they don't do it, we're going to go a long way, fellas, to find somebody else that's going to. We have no choice. If honestly, and they may not do a good job. If they don't do a good job,
Thank you, sir.
it's possible. If they don't do a good job, the country's sort of in trouble. Yes, go ahead.
Thanks, sir. Two questions for
And I think they're going to do a great job. Go ahead.
First, Mr. Vice President, Democrats are already calling you the fraud czar. What's your reaction to that title? And
The fraud czar.
second,
Good time.
given
I like
your
it.
past skepticism of foreign adventurism, are you completely on board with the current war in Iran?
So I like fraud czar. It's certainly what we're going to do. And look, we have to do it, as the president said. This is a problem that has festered in this country for far too long, and far too few people have actually wanted to do anything about it. That's what makes this administration different, is that we actually tackle the problems the American people have been confronting. So I'm very happy about it. And look, I think that I know what you're trying to do, Phil. You're trying to drive a wedge between.
And that's and we already covered this little piece, but it was only about a minute. So I'll let you guys, for the new people coming in, I'll just let it play real quick.
The administration between me and the president. What the president said consistently, going back to 2015, and I agreed with him, is that Iran should not have a nuclear weapon. We have taken this military action under the president's leadership. I think all of us, whether you're a Democrat or Republican, should pray for success and pray for the safety of our troops. That's the approach that I've taken. Make it as successful as possible.
So there's no hesitation, given your past statements, with the current operation?
What do you mean there's no hesitation with my past statements?
Given your skepticism of foreign adventurism, you were a critic of the global war on terror previously.
Well, I think one big difference, Phil, is that we have a smart president, whereas in the past we've had dumb presidents, and I trust President Trump to get the job done, to do a good job for the American people, and to make sure that the mistakes of the past aren't repeated. Absolutely.
Look, JD's been great, but here's the simple thing, and I have, some people, I don't want wars. I want wars less than almost anybody. Peace through strength. But you know what? I've watched Iran for a long time. I called them out 20 years ago when I was a civilian that liked watching the world. And they're violent, vicious people, the leadership, violent, vicious people. They killed 32,000 protesters over the last 3 weeks. They put out a memo 2 days ago saying, if you protest, we will shoot you and kill you in the streets. And somebody said, oh, there's not that many protests. Well, first of all, there are bombs going off all over the place. But even if there weren't, who's going to do that? Who's going to do it? They don't have any guns, and the other ones have latest in line machine gun, right? And every form of gun you can have. They shoot them right through the middle of the head. They're violent people. If they had a nuclear weapon, they would use it. And sometimes I'll have some of the people that, feel very strongly, like I do about wars. And I say, Do you think Iran is violent, and do you think their people are violent? Yes, leadership. Do you think they should have a nuclear weapon, which is massive power? I don't even want to discuss how powerful, because it's depressing. And they said, no, they shouldn't have. Definitely they shouldn't have. They said, and you don't want to fight war. No, we don't want to fight war. So these are naive people that frankly are stupid. If you
They're frankly stupid.
believe that Iran should have a nuclear weapon, there's something wrong with you, because they would use it within, the only question is within 1 hour if they get it, or 1 day. They will use it, and they will blow up the entire Middle East, not just Israel. They'll start with Israel, but they will blow up. And you got to see that when they unexpectedly started sending missiles to every country within 1,000 miles of them. I mean, they're blowing up countries that were neighbors, not necessarily some friends. They actually were blowing up some friends. They were blowing up the people that handle their accounts. They're sending thousands of missiles into countries that didn't expect to be in the war because they wanted to take over the Middle East. And if I didn't terminate Barack Hussein Obama's horrible Iran nuclear deal, which I did in my first term, one of the dumbest deals, perhaps the dumbest deal because of the danger involved, you would have had them have a nuclear weapon 3 years ago, maybe 4 years ago. They would have used it, blown up the Middle East, and they would have then come after us. And if these gorgeous B-2 bombers, give me that bomber, Andrews. Let me just hug that little sucker. Give me that bomber over there. Thank you. You knew immediately which one. This looks small, but in person it's very big. It's the only plane capable of carrying a 200,000-pound bomb. I don't know how they do it. It's very sleek and nice, but it carries a lot of weapons, and there's a lot of bombs. But
a lot of bombs.
I not sent this incredible machine, times numerous others, to hit Iran at midnight with no moon, dead dark. Every single bomb was dropped right down the chute that it was supposed to hit. How they do it, who knows? Nobody else can figure. No other country can do it. No other country has our military or even close. And I think we've probably proven that with Venezuela and now with because we have done a number in Iran. But if I didn't do that, if I didn't decimate, I call it their nuclear dust, they would have had a nuclear weapon within 1 month after that bombing took place. And they would have used it on first Israel and then the Middle East. And you know that because all of those missiles that were launched against their neighbors were set long ago, long before they knew they would be using them this quickly. Had we not done this, you would have had a nuclear war that would have evolved into World War III. And more important, this is a war that there would have been nothing left. So we've done a great thing. The people that say it's okay for a very sick ideology, a very sick country in terms of its leadership. Very good people, great people. But the people that say that, I think they're actually, they're either evil or they're stupid. So if you believe that Iran should not have a nuclear weapon, they should not have it, then you have to absolutely love what I've done because in 2 weeks we have decimated them. They have no Navy, they have no Air Force, they have no anti-aircraft weapons, they have no leadership. The leadership is gone. But then they set up a new leadership to go and name a new leader, and that leadership is gone. And now they think maybe the sun is gone. They're all gone. My biggest problem is I have no idea who we're talking
What's up, Pablo?
to because nobody ever heard of any of these people. They're all dead. But we did a job for the world, not a job for us, for the whole world. We took the worst country in 50 years and maybe longer from the ideological standpoint, a country that wanted to blow up the world, a country that is sick, and it had the religious fervor. And when you add religion, you know, people don't realize more people
Oh my God, Trump.
A few moments later.
died in religious wars than every other war put together. And that's what you would have had here. And it was a terrible thing. I'm very proud of what we did. And I think JD understands better than most. If you give Iran a nuclear weapon, at least a very substantial part of the world would be blown up, and it'll be used almost immediately. Yes.
All right, we're moving on. We're moving on. We got to. We have to at this point. All right. Shit. I got you, Steve Easy.
Why are you gay?
Okay, here we go. We're going to be talking about Trump on Israel won't use nuclear weapon in Iran. Now, that's a pretty big statement. Let's go ahead and bring that up and see why he is saying that.
Here to live now from Fox, I am Andy Mack. Now more than 2 weeks since the joint operation by the United States and Israel to launch Operation Epic Fury, we're learning more about the geopolitical and economic consequences as this continues to unfurl. And we learned today President Trump talking about a coalition of allies to potentially reopen the Strait of Hormuz, as he's asked about half a dozen or so countries, revealing that some are eager, others not so much. This a post from rapid response from the press secretary Caroline Leavitt, saying last night President Trump reiterated his commitment toward keeping the oil flowing through the Strait of Hormuz so the United States and all of our allies can receive their energy needs. President Trump will not allow rogue Iranian terrorists to stop the freedom of navigation and the free flow of energy, as they're asking different countries. The consequential waterway through 1/5 of the world's oil trade flows through. So we'll see what happens as he's asked China, Japan, South Korea, others like Britain and Germany, I should say, are not so in favor of this.
Yeah, and they basically all said no.
Bring into the conversation right now FDD Executive Director Jonathan Schanzer. Jonathan, thank you so much for joining us here on Live Now.
We don't really need to discuss more than that. We got the fact here. Let's go and see if there's any other displays here that we haven't seen before. Let's go and see.
Is more complicated. I mean, that's actually worked out really well, but
we already know how the Strait of Hormuz looks like and all that. Is there going to be any other type of update? Nope. Then we're moving the fuck on. We got body cam footage of Crockett bodyguard shooting, by the way. This whole thing was kind of wild. Let's go and bring this up. The bodyguard for Jasmine Crockett ended up getting into a standoff with police and ended up dying. So the footage is just coming out as of yesterday. So let's go ahead and see what's happening here. Viewer discretion is advised.
Hey, stop the car! Stop the car! Move your car! Move your car! Stop! Stop! Go!
Go!
I don't think he knows that. All right, come on. Yeah. Hey, Sarge, you roll through this light on us. We're continuing on. We'll stop when you want us to. We're back by the state. I'll keep my lights on. By the station. He's just rolling through these lights on us. You sick? You have your lights on, right? Yeah.
As they continue. Crockett and their bodyguard think that they're above the law, just like any typical one of these fucking politicians.
All right. Yeah, he's not stopping. We've hit him plenty of times. He is northbound on Market, crossing Jackson.
Wow, what's up? We got Barbie. Man, it's been a minute since I've seen you in the chat, but you still re-upped the membership for 18 months. Let's freaking go. Let's get it. She says the Iranians hold a grudge that is generational. That's fact. All right. Appreciate the 16 months, by the way.
He's just going to keep going through. Yeah, no, he's...
Yeah, Sarge, he's not stopping. He's to Maine. Looks like he's going through Maine. He's going through a red light. Do we have any coverts with him? Negative. No, he's going through red lights now.
Oh, man, there's this civilian that had to stand out in the street while the cop just did that. Damn.
He's shooting across. He got all the way in the right-hand lane. He crossed Jackson. I think he continued straight. Get him to the right. See if we can get eyes on him.
I don't know if he made it right or not.
This gun goes down our city this round. Yep. I don't know if he's got that gun on him.
It's not going to end good.
We don't want anybody to be hurt.
I got it.
All I want you to do is let, hey, when you exit the car, let it fall. Don't reach for it, don't do anything. And nothing will happen. Just keep your hands up.
Yeah, I'm stand up, I'm standing this round.
Ready? What's your first aid, man? Mike? Okay, Mike.
I think that's the police K9, by the way.
Get out. Get out. Keep your hands up. Stand up. Stand up. Stand up. Stand up. Put your hands up.
Oh, he's grabbing something. He's reaching. He's reaching.
Don't do it.
Oh, and he pulled it. And he's going to be cleaned out from there. They don't show it. There we go. Now he's down.
Come on. This is it. Come on. Get out.
That was pretty dumb.
Come on. Get out.
Why would he go in a standoff with them?
Get out. Keep your hands up. Stand up.
You just got to know when
Stand
you're defeated.
Stand up. Stand up. Put your hand up.
He's grabbing right there. He's reaching.
Don't
Reaching.
reach. Don't do it. Don't do it.
Ant pulled. It's over.
Hold. 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 Hold.
Totally dumb.
All right. Hey, we're fine. Easy. Everybody good? Is everybody good? Okay.
You're good on the right. Good on the right. Hey, watch your back drop. There's operators on that floor.
Why is the car smoking like that, though? Like, before they even were shooting, before any shots were fired or anything, this shit was smoking. But anyways, it comes from all the different, body cams from all the different cops or whatever. We saw what happened there. We're going to move on. We have Cuba experiencing island-wide blackout amid energy crisis. This happened, by the way, yesterday. Humongous thing that was happening overnight for them. We had millions of Cubans over there in Cuba that lost all power. So let's go ahead and bring this up and discuss it briefly here. Give me a second. Here we go. And also, we got to give you guys the proper propaganda.
Maybe you need to donate some freaking money. Donate. Maybe you need to donate some freaking money. Maybe you need to donate some freaking money. Donate. Maybe you need to donate some freaking money. Donate some freaking.
Perfect. All right, here we go.
Another matter of foreign policy, Cuba is under new and intense pressures to make a deal with the United States as the island is facing one of its most severe economic crises in decades. Officials there are reporting also an island-wide blackout following a weekend that saw a rare and forcible protest. Fox News Washington correspondent Mike Emanuel has the latest from Cuba.
Cuba's power system has suffered a total collapse. Officials there report an island-wide blackout. The energy ministry suggests the country's electrical system is seeing, quote,
"What's up, Baked? Good morning to you, and happy St. Patrick's Day."
Total disconnection. Protests are growing in the island nation, demonstrators venting anger about poor living conditions. And in one city, trashing the Communist Party's office, throwing rocks at the building and some setting it on fire. President Trump sees this unrest as an opportunity.
I do believe I'll be
What's up, Hardwire? Good morning.
the honor of having the honor
Happy
of
St. Patrick's Day.
taking Cuba. That'd be good honor. It's a big honor.
A White House official tells Fox, quote, "As the president stated, we are talking to Cuba, whose leaders should make a deal which he believes would be very easily made." The Cuban regime today extending an olive branch, saying that it is, in fact, open for business.
Cuba is open to having a fluid commercial relationship with U.S. companies, also with Cubans residing in the United States and their descendants. And this extends beyond the commercial sphere. It also applies to investments.
But the regime also took aim at the continued blockade of fuel as a roadblock for further cooperation. Secretary of State Marco Rubio is leading the diplomatic effort and says the status quo in Cuba is unsustainable.
Cuba needs to change. It needs to change. And it doesn't have to change all at once. It doesn't have to change from one day to the next. Everyone is mature and realistic here.
Some congressional Democrats have introduced legislation aimed at blocking U.S. military action against Cuba without congressional approval.
Yeah, I heard that their entire grid went down, Charles.
clearly worried that if there isn't change, the president may use force, as he did in Venezuela, to make it happen. In Washington, Mike Emanuel, Fox News.
Fox News. Why do they do
we
that?
also have this from the
So
U.S.
gay.
Embassy in Cuba talking about that blackout, saying that a nationwide blackout, including Havana, happened around 1:54 local time. A disconnection of the national electrical grid occurred, resulting in a total power outage that includes the metropolitan area of Havana. There is no information on when electrical service will be restored. Cuba's national electrical grid is increasingly unstable and scheduled, and unscheduled power outages are prolonged and a daily occurrence throughout the country, including Havana. These outages affect water supply, lighting, refrigeration, and communications. Take precautions by conserving fuel, water, food, and your mobile phone charge, and prepare for significant disruptions. So that's coming from the U.S. Embassy in Cuba today, talking about those nationwide power outages there in Cuba. And we also have this from Fox News, saying President Trump floated the idea that the United States could take Cuba, quote, in some form, saying the island nation is currently weakened after decades of rule by the Castro regime.
All right.
The U.S. and Cuba talks also continuing as the island is dealing with those blackouts.
Yes, we do know that. All right. And yeah, millions of Cubans over there in Cuba were without power. That's terrible. All right. So we have top Iranian officials killed in an Israeli strike that happened. Let me see. It happened 4 hours ago. Let's go ahead and bring this up. And this is this morning's news. Here we go.
The military also announced it killed Gholam Reza Soleimani, the head of the Revolutionary Guard's all-volunteer Basij force. So there's a lot to get to in terms of what could come next. To help us break this all down is going to be Dave Lawler. He is with Axios, and he joins me now. Dave, good morning.
If he goes into any type of speculation or anything, we're moving on because we still have to get to Israel-Iran conflict with the new wave of strikes on Tehran over there in Iran. So hold on. Whoops. Here we go.
Good morning.
All right, so this is major breaking news. We have several more top Iranian officials that have been taken out. So how does this change the context as to what the strategy is going to be going forward with Israeli military specifically first?
Sure. So Ali Larijani, who's the biggest name, who was killed, he was seen by at least some U.S. officials as the de facto civilian leader after the killing of Supreme Leader Khamenei. He was very close to the now late Supreme Leader, and he, is.
Dude, that's fucking epic, Pablo. Balls Out News Agency. Shit.
Was one of the most senior remaining figures within the regime. Obviously, if he's now killed, that's another sort of rung down on the old hierarchy that the Iranians will be moving. Of course, the presumptive supreme leader now is Khamenei's son, Mojtaba, but it's unclear how badly he was wounded in an attack earlier in the war. And so it seems pretty clear that the Israeli military in particular, and arguably more so than the U.S. military, is focusing on taking out the entire top layers of this regime. I think the Israelis have been fairly clear that they see regime change, not just changing the supreme leader, the person at the top, but really changing the regime
right.
as a goal of this operation, or at least.
Well, that's definitely Bibi's main focus. Absolutely. Now, let me go ahead and see if there's any other breaking coverage here. It looks like there is. Let's go ahead and see what this is right here. Give me a second. There we go.
Last answer. I want to bring us up, though, first to this. It's the latest social media post from the IDF, just once again reiterating some of these top officials that have been killed. This one is for specifically Ali Larijani, who you spoke on there. Give us a bit of a briefing as to who he was. The secretary of Iran's Supreme National Security Council and the regime's effective leader has been eliminated. I want to talk a little bit about the newly named supreme leader, Mojtaba Khamenei, because, Dave, we have yet to see him publicly. We have seen statements that have been attributed to him, but no public statements as of yet. And given the fact that all of these officials are being taken out one by one, is this some type of strategy from within the Iranian regime? What's the thought process behind perhaps not allowing Mojtaba to make that public statement and to be seen by the world?
Yeah, so he was reportedly wounded earlier in the conflict. President Trump has said publicly, we don't know if he's still alive. I don't know if they're trying to sort of goad him to come out into the open to prove that he is, in fact, alive. But as you said, assuming he is alive and the Iranian side says that he is, and we have no evidence that he's not, they've decided to keep him, or he has decided to sort of remain underground in the shadows. And
you know what's funny is there is a rumor going around that he is actually gay.
Why are you gay?
I don't think that's going to work out extremely well over there. But I don't know that to be fact. That's just a rumor that's been flying around, and I can't confirm or deny that shit. So let's see if we have any other updates here. It looks like we do have a ship update here. Let's go ahead and see. This is the Strait of Hormuz right here, and you can see where the ships are halted. The red is basically ships that are anchored right now. Green is them moving, but then, you know, pretty much nobody is going through back and forth here. Okay, let's see if this will. Here we go.
And they have economic concerns, but a lot of countries are not interested in becoming, in putting their forces potentially in harm's way to help escort vessels through here or to, help clear mines that the Iranians may lay in the strait. So there's a couple things going on. President Trump has said that the Iranian Navy will continue to be decimated. They will take out, Iranian military sites that are within range of the strait to try to, make it impossible for the Iranians to take out vessels by force. And then they're going to try to get this coalition together that will, along with the U.S., provide some layer of security. I think it remains to be seen how many international shipping firms, how many tankers are going to be willing to test this system, even if the U.S. sets it up. Will they move their tankers through here if Iran is continuing to threaten to target them? It's very
well. The escorting can happen from Navy ships that we have. It just puts them kind of at unnecessary risk during this war. So that's basically why Trump was asking other countries to come help. All right, so our very last story for the morning, Israel-Iran conflict, new wave of strikes in Tehran. This just happened right before we started the live stream this morning. So here we go.
Along the area. I also want to bring us out to this. It's a social media post courtesy of Phil Stewart. He is a national security reporter at Reuters. He says this: Israeli military says...
What's up, brother Dean? Good morning to you. Great to see you in the chat, my man.
...as it is launching wide-range strikes across Tehran. And Phil joins me live here this morning. We're going to bring him on to talk about the latest regarding this entire situation and what is happening right now on the ground. Phil, good morning. Good to have you.
Good morning. Yeah, thanks for having me.
Of course. All right, so based off of that latest social media post, you are following all of these minute-by-minute developments. Break it down for our viewers. What is happening on the ground there, not just in Tehran, also in Israel, Lebanon, so many different points that we're focused on?
What we're seeing right now is a pretty major a set of strikes that have happened in recent hours that have taken out, one of the most important figures in Iran, and someone who had actually been seen as potentially a successor to the supreme leader at one point. And we're also seeing major strikes across Tehran.
Assad.
We're seeing Iran retaliate. There's been a major boom over Doha and a missile interception there. So you're seeing, again, escalation throughout the region. You're seeing Israeli strikes, U.S. strikes, and we're trying to get a better sense of whether or not this conflict is entering, another phase of serious degradation of Iranian military capabilities.
You mentioned something very important there right off the top, which is what we started really the program with today, the killing of 2 top Iranian officials. Taking a look here, there's a couple of posts from...
No, I haven't seen that yet, Steve Easy.
From the IDF. This
I'll
one specifically focuses on Ali Laranjani, the secretary of Iran's Supreme National Security Council and the regime's effective leader. They say he has been eliminated. Another person that has been killed was Gholam Reza Soleimani, the head of the Revolutionary Guard's all-volunteer Basij.
Anything is possible at this point, Barbie. Nothing is shocking to me at this point.
Of course. This is a social media post courtesy of Fox's Tradings where he talks about both of these killings. Phil, when we look at the trajectory of this war, the fact that so many top Iranian officials continue...
I think all decisions are on the table.
...to be killed, where does Iran stand at this moment? Where does the regime go from here when it keeps launching these counterattacks and these counter operations?
There's a number of questions that we at Reuters are following right now, and one of them is, who is commanding Iran's military? Who is commanding these different forces? And when you have the elimination of such key prominent figures after another group of major figures were killed in just the opening salvos of the campaign, you really wonder, how is the U.S. going to negotiate an end? Who would they negotiate with? How will the Iranian military respond in a cohesive, organized way, or will it really be up to local commanders to decide how to respond, against targets both in the Gulf and...
No, and I definitely do believe that, realistically, yes, of course, I don't think there's going to be a draft. But what I'm saying is all things are on the fucking table. That's kind of been the ideology is like, hey, we're willing to do fucking anything. But do I actually think it's going to happen? No, I don't actually think it's going to happen. We have way more firepower than that whole region combined. So definitely with what we have there, we're going to be able to get the job done. And hopefully we can get this done without putting any boots on the ground. And hopefully we can have this done in a couple of weeks. That would be ideal. I wish it would happen right this second. Like, all right, we're done. We're out. See ya. But it's going to take a couple weeks, bare minimum.
And U.S. bases. So, there are a lot of questions that we have right now, but the main ones are, who's in control?
It's also important to note that the newly announced Supreme Leader also hasn't made any public statements. We've had some statements that have been attributed to him, but we haven't seen him publicly just yet. So the U.S. right now also working to figure out who are they going to be speaking with and who, as you mentioned, is really leading the regime, especially as this conflict does escalate. I want to go back to U.S. involvement, though, and really military.
Steve Easy, no fucking kidding, bro.
Strategy going forward. Now, we know that the U.S. is sending more troops.
Here, let me tell you how it's going. DHS is fucking not funded. So that's what's happening there.
Troops there to the region. Based off of your reporting, Phil, based on what you're hearing, what is the goal right now? What stage are we in when it comes to U.S. military involvement there in this conflict?
So I think there's two different ways of looking at that. One is that the Pentagon keeps talking about its current mission, which is to degrade Iran's ability to attack other countries. So that would be its missile force, its ability to produce drones and field those drones, its navy, and on all sides of that, the United States is striking more and more targets every day and degrading Iran's ability to attack abroad. But there's another a line of effort that seems to be emerging, which is President Trump's desire for the U.S. and coalition allies that have yet to kind of step forward to safeguard the Strait of Hormuz so that energy prices can start to stabilize a little bit.
To answer this, Pablo, no, I could not.
Right now, you're seeing tremendous pressure on energy markets because the Strait of Hormuz, which controls about 20% of the world's crude oil traffic, is essentially shut down to all but
not just crude, but all gas and oil. Yeah,
a couple of countries. I think India's had some tankers go through. You've seen Iran still exporting oil. But in general, you've seen a shutdown there. So the U.S. may be moving toward another mission, and that's something we're watching very closely.
Of course. All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, that wraps up for our morning this morning. I can't thank each and every single one of you guys enough. Obviously, I can't do this shit without you guys. I'm able to do this because of you guys. I'm very honored by that. Listen, we're not going to be rating anybody this morning. I didn't set it up, so it is what it is. But listen, much love, honor, respect to everybody. We'll be back tomorrow morning for more of the world's menace as we continue to follow the craziness around the world. Listen, I very much appreciate you guys. Much love, honor, respect, everybody. God bless everyone, and be safe out there. Much love.
From the depths of darkness, a voice emerges, a host with a fire.